Hi, everybody. I just wanted to give you a quick little word about Sukkot, wishing you a happy and freilichen Sukkot. About Sukkot, it says, V'samachta b'chagecha, that you should rejoice in your festival. And then also it says, V'hayisa ach sameach, and you should only be happy. Ach sameach, you should only be happy. So there's a lot of reasons why this yontif is a yontif of joy. But because joy is we can never have enough joy, I just want to give you a few little comments about joy to aid us in our experience of joy. So one of the connections between joy and us as Yidden in general, we know Avraham was the father of Yitzchak. He was the first Jew. His name was Yitzchak, which is connected to this idea, to the word tzachok, which is to laugh. Litzachek is to play. I think litzchok is to joke or to laugh. The word Yitzchak is connected to that root of laughter. There's an idea that when Yitzchak when Avram went to offer his son Yitzchak, his fear of Hashem, his awe of Hashem is what motivated him. When he found the ram caught in the thicket, he was able to use that ram instead of Yitzchak. But that ram is what we remember, and that awe of Hashem is what we remember on Rosh Hashanah when we blow the shofar. Within that awe is the external manifestation of the moment, but our sages tell us that internally there's an aspect of Hashem's laughter hidden in that awe. Hashem's laughter that Avram was able to do what was required of him with complete Mesirat Nefesh, complete given overness, complete fear and awe of Hashem. So that external aspect of awe, there's an internal aspect of joy and laughter that becomes manifest on Sukkot. The hidden awe, the hidden fear of Rosh Hashanah then becomes laughter later on. That's its inner content, which becomes revealed in the holiday of Sukkot. It's concealed until the holiday of Sukkot. And why no longer does it need to be concealed? Because by the time Sukkot comes, we don't have that fear of retribution and judgment. Also, there's the idea that the schach represents the ashan, the smoke from the ketoris. It represents our tshuva. There's a lot of different aspects of the schach connecting us to the avoda of the Yomim Tovim that preceded. Now, just a couple more points, because this is really a very brief little message. On Rosh Hashanah, Hashem recreated the world, and part of that recreating the world was a re-choosing of the Jewish people. So another one of the aspects of the joyfulness is that we're joyful in having been re-chosen, so to speak. And then the one that I love the most, that the Sukkah, just like Shabbat, is mi'ein olam haba. It's a little piece of olam haba. It's a little piece of Mashiach times. It's a little piece of living in a perfected consciousness. Happiness is present when Hashem's name is completely revealed in the world. Such revelations will not happen until the nature of the world changes from deception and illusion to revelation. Now, during Sukkot, we have the opportunity to experience this kind of revelation of Hashem's light, because we've spent time clearing off any of the things that keep us separate from our own soul identity. We've experienced kapara, forgiveness during Yom Kippur. We've cleaned away all the places where we feel our own obstacles to our spirituality, our own guilt. That's been washed away, that's been cleansed. And to quote David HaMelech, the light is planted for the righteous. It is planted and concealed in the earth at present. But for the straight of heart, there is joy. For the straight of heart, there is joy. So even though the light is concealed, God's light is concealed, or Zairuach la tzadik ule Yisraelev simcha. The light is, it's usually hidden, but if you can be in that category where you're not living in illusion or deception, you can experience that light. When you're experiencing that light, you're in a messianic headspace. How can it be that we experience that light during Sukkot? Well, we surrender to God's providence and God's direction. How does Sukkot enable us to do that? Because we feel vulnerable, we feel exposed, we have the wind, we have the rain, we have just the fragile form of the sukkah available to us, and we're very clear that we are dependent on Hashem. If it rains too hard, we need to go inside. If it's too cold, we need to really bundle up. We really feel our dependence on him. That's already taking off some of the klipot and the concealments that are operating during the year. Now, because we're in these crazy times that we're in, I feel like the sukkah is the perfect symbol for our life right now, that we are experiencing rain, wind, the different vicissitudes of nature. And it's the sukkah that's going to remind us, Hashem is hugging us, Hashem is there, Hashem chose us, Hashem wants the best for us. Another aspect of the joy of Sukkot, just to say bekitzer, is that we bring the Sheva Minim, the Arba Minim, not the Sheva Minim, the Arba Minim, the Lulav, the Etrog, the Hadassim, and the Aravas. Now, as I've taught many times before, not only is this mitzvah an aspect of unity where we bring different species together, which correspond to our heart, Esrog, our spine, Lulav, our eyes, Hadassim, and our mouth, Aravas, which means we've got to be whole with all parts of ourselves. We have to have our heart connected to our body, our eyes, what we see, and what we speak. Panim al panim, what does it mean? You look into a lake and the lake looks back to you. You see your face reflected. A face is the panim is the outside, but what's within a person is the panemius. When you integrated what you see, what you say, what you feel, and how you're holding yourself in the world, when that's all integrated, that's a first step to joy. Say your truth, be authentic to what you see, move and be and bend and bow according to that and not something else, with connection to your heart. That's the first part to achieving happiness. Second part is bond and see your connection with other people, so you're not isolated and separated, whether it's emotionally or spiritually, even if you need to be separated for COVID conditions. How do you do that? You link with all kinds of Jews. So there's the Jew, the Esrog Jew, wise and good deeds. The Lulav Jew is has taste but not smell. So I believe that is either, I think it is, I'm not sure right now if it's wisdom without action, or it's action without wisdom. I'm sorry, at this moment it's just gone out of my mind, but it's one without the other. The Hadassim is smell without taste, and the Aravas is neither wisdom nor good deeds. So the technicality of which one is which, it's probably very interesting, and there's probably a good reason for it. And when I find it, I'm going to go, oh no, of course I knew that, I just forgot. But the idea really is that wisdom is wonderful and good deeds are wonderful. But our Jewish tradition teaches us that if we can have acquired information from our teachers and from our Masorah, that's an amazing thing, but it has to affect action. It has to impact the way we treat other people, the way we treat ourselves, our neighbors, our parents, our children, our friends, the stranger in the street. That wisdom has to percolate and penetrate and really get into all of our being. And on the other hand, if you want to be a person who does good, loves good, you love being kind, learn Torah, because sometimes you think you're being kind, but because it's not really what's halakhically correct, you could be really doing something wrong. You could be enabling someone. You could be loving a person who you're not supposed to be loving. I made a shidduch yesterday or this last week with one of my dearest friends, with this sweet, sweet man. And it turned out he's a Kohen, and she's 57 years old and is divorced, and had many aspects in her life, and she couldn't marry a Kohen. As much as I want her to be happy and I want him to be happy, I need to know that information, that bringing them together in a romantic way would not be the right thing. So wisdom matched with deeds, they can of course be friends, and I encourage them both to do that. But wisdom with good deeds without wisdom is also not a complete package. So that's the aspect of the wisdom and the good deeds. Then each of the 4 minim give us a hint of unity, how unity is such an important thing for this holiday. The esrog grows on the tree for a whole year. Winter, spring, summer, fall, the esrog is growing, so it unifies all parts of the year into a whole. The lulav has many leaves that hold to its center, another aspect of many coming into one. Aravas grow in groups, many of them willows, they grow in bunches, and the hadassim grow, the little leaves are attached to the stem in a little twirl or a whirl, with 3 leaves all together, or 4 leaves always together attached at the same point. Each one of them is showing us an aspect of bonding and connecting with others. And then when we do the mitzvah of the 4 species, we go in the different directions. We go over to our right side, our left side, forward, up, down, back. And in this way, we can have many meditations of uniting with right side is our external chesed side, left side, more intuitive gevura side, center tiferes, left, right, center, forward, up, down, and behind. So we want to go. Also, you could have in your mind, your future, your past, what's above you, what's below you. So 2, 3, 4, up. So whichever way you're doing it, you want to integrate, bringing what's above down, what's below up, what's on the one side, on the other side. And we use the lulav and the esrog as almost like a conductor, electricity, energy, love conductor from your heart out to the world, from the world back to your heart. So a Jew standing in a sukkah, doing the mitzvot of arba minim, integrating the parts of themselves to a whole, uniting with all Jewish people in a whole, then connecting to aspects to the right of oneself, even politically, to the right of oneself, to the left of oneself, aspects in front of oneself, above oneself, below oneself, behind. We integrate all of these things and we stand in our space and we feel grateful for having been created a Jew. We feel chosen. We feel Hashem has loved and accepted us. We committed to him on Rosh Hashanah. He forgave us for all our imperfections on Yom Kippur. we in this relationship, we here, we now, we beneath the schach, which one can even imagine that smoke from the Ketores on Yom Kippur, that Ashan that I've explained so many times, Olam, Shana, Nefesh, who you are, when you are, where you are, when you are, who you are, that smoke, that meditation of be here now, hovering over the sukkah, enabling us to feel that that sukkah is truly a piece of Olam Haba. It's a moment of being in complete oneness in all ways. That should be our own personal Mishkan, an experience of the Beis HaMikdash. It should be a practice round. Each day of Sukkot, we practice and practice and practice in being in sacred space, and hopefully that gives us the encouragement and the capacity to go out of that into the whole year with that concept that every moment has potential to be holy, every moment has potential to be one, you one with yourself, one with Hashem, one with Am Yisrael, one with whatever it is, whatever is, be one with that in a good way. And we should feel connected to Hashem, and we should have the revelation of the great sukkah, the wonderful sukkah, the huge one, the Beis HaMikdash space, Yerushalayim, Mashiach. Bless everyone with a healthy, a wonderful, a peaceful, a strong New Year, a Gitten Kvittel, all the best, sei gesund, lots of love, good Yom Tov.